Call the meeting to order. Chad, you mind do the roll call?
Yes, sir, Judge. Ms. Blackman?
Here.
Mr. Curtis? Here. Mr. Bishop? Here. Mr. Bowman? Here. Mr. Coyle? Here. All present, Judge.
Thanks, Chad. I would like to take a moment of silence for some community members that passed away. Mr. George Kirkland, Mrs. Morrison, and Miss Hallie Pickle. Thank you all. Appreciate it. First item on the agenda is consider approval of minutes of the previous meeting held Thursday, December 5th, 2019.
Motion. Second. Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Bowman? Yes. Ms. Blackman?
Yes.
Mr. Coyle? Yes. Unanimous.
The second item is we've got a couple of guests with us today. We've got Hal B. Good and Miss Jamie Sandusky of Central Kentucky Community Action, just to share an update. And we added an item to that as well. We've got a review of some covenants upon and deed restrictions for our growth that we're seeing at Community Action. So I'll put that in your package as number 2, and just take it home and read that. And if you have any questions, we'll take care of it. But that's kind of, when you read it, you'll understand kind of what's going on.
Sure. Thank you, Judge. Our pleasure to be here again. Thank you, Court. Glad to be here. Jamie Sandusky is with us today. Jamie is our Chief Financial Officer there at Community Action. This is her first fiscal court meeting. How in the world she worked there 35 years without getting here, I don't know. But I'm glad to have her here. So she is an awesome. She is an awesome part of what we're doing there at Community Action. Those of you that have followed us, and a lot of you have for many years, Jamie does a great job there with many others that are alongside. We're simply here today. We'll be one of the best visitors you have because we're not going to ask you for nothing. But we are here to inform you. And I think that's one of the things that we tried to start doing Squire last year. And when I first started, been here 2 years coming in, is to keep you up to date on what we are doing. And we've been very busy in the area, not only Lincoln Trail area, but here in Marion County, what we're doing with Community Action. So we do want to present our annual report, Judge. Within the annual report, Judge, and Squire, so you go, Mr. Carter, is a look at this past year. Our audit is in there, and Jamie will be able to do this, Squire. Our audit is inside there, but I think more than anything, it gives you an idea of activity. Where we've been, where we're going, what we're planning, working through our strategic planning, and also being able to show you some numbers that we're being able to project, not only through the Lincoln Trail area, but also in and around Marion County from what we're doing. I'll have you highlight one of the main sheets in there that gives you an idea of some numbers. I call it our dashboard. It's a really good sheet to look at because I think it gives you a really good idea of exactly some of the numbers and some of the pieces that we've been putting together of the puzzles of helping to fight poverty. And again, we're there to give a hand up, not a hand out. But when you look at the number of miles of transportation that we have in the Lincoln Trail area, 1,763,749. You know, we are being able to take that individual, that senior, to the dialysis. We're able to take them for their hospital needs. We're being able to take that piece of transportation that is needed that's just not there and be able to get them to that destination. We're working with our Head Start, our early Head Start. 30 parents enrolled in college. We're really barrier breakers. We're trying to break that barrier and give that need that's out there to help them be able to get to that need. And that sometimes that post-secondary education for a lot of folks is hard to achieve. We talk about our congregate meals that we do here at the fairgrounds. So we get a lot of help. The judge and I, since my term here, we've been able to go out there and we'll see hundreds that are there looking for that box of food. You'll think that $50 box of food, what does it come into place for? Well, with that, that might be a home that can come in and pay their electric bill because they're getting that $50 of food that we're working with. You never know what that barrier that they're trying to break, and that's the thing that we're there to do. And I know, Judge, we appreciate you being on our board. We appreciate the work that you're doing with us and also the court in the past also for some of the things that we've come and asked for that you've been able to provide. It's something that is changing the lives of many people. The congregate meals that we're doing in the area, this senior citizens meals, have really been on an increase here as of late. I want to give you some numbers so you get an idea, just even through July of this year. In Lebanon, we've served 1,809 meals to 30 different clients. In Bradfordsville, 439 to 22 clients, and I'll tell you, I bet every week in Bradfordsville, those 22 clients are there. They are always there, they're participating. Loretta served 287 to 22 clients. Nutrition education sessions with our seniors. In Lebanon, 349 sessions. Bradfordsville, 144 sessions. Loretta, 93 sessions. And then we do bingo size. Bingo size is exercise to bingo. I don't know if you knew that or not, Squire, well, but that's what it is. And they love it. We've had 292 bingo size sessions to 28 unduplicated clients. So it's important, we know, for our seniors to be able to have that one meal that is prepared by dietitians, and we have that menu put together, that they're able to participate in that. And we ask for $2 voluntary, but hey, if there's no $2 there, they get that meal. So we know that meal is there. We provide the transportation for many as well, so that is something we feel like our congregate meals has really been a big plus for. Our transportation, one thing that we had talked about, and I know I appreciate the county attorney working with us on some basically we're putting together some. The state has asked us, alongside with the loan that we are paying back from Community Action to the fiscal court. We have received a grant for $203,500. We completely renovated our CATS department there. So our transportation department now has been renovated. We've been able to go through that new renovation. Along with that will be some of the documentation the county attorneys apply for that we're going to have to work out, I think, some of the language of it, just to apply to that, to show that that investment is there. So we are excited. We'll have an open house for that, and that's going to make us run very efficiently. We currently have 72 buses. 64 of those are wheelchair accessible. It's really interesting when I prepare this for fiscal courts to go and look at what we're doing just for Marion County. Marion County numbers alone for fiscal year 2019, 5,944 were non-Medicaid trips and 9,099 were Medicaid trips. We came to you earlier, I think just when you were finishing up your last budget, so it was about the end of May. If you recall, some of the funding you were able to give us was alongside with that growth. We anticipate Marion County is one of our tops for non-Medicaid trips, and second in just trips alone. But right now for fiscal year 2020, the first 6 months we've had, our mileage is looking at around 900,000. So we're looking at over 1.8 million miles for our area, so that's growing for us. And we know it's growing, and we're looking at, not only the medical piece, but we've worked with the judge and some others on that economic development piece where someone just needs a ride to work. We want to make sure that we can provide that, because we never know, again, what that barrier is missing. And a lot of times, if it's someone that's looking, just trying to get to work or to achieve that, that first probation period, sometimes you'll get your first check for 3 weeks. Well, if you've got a car broke down, if you don't have the gas, it's a barrier, and we're trying to address those barriers in transportation. We're excited about some of our other numbers, but alongside with all that, I was asked Jamie if she would join me just for a second. And Jamie, I wanted to kind of let you give them an idea, a little bit about what we're seeing, especially not financially, but also on the Head Start part, because we were able to apply for some grants, and we're excited about the land we purchased here in Marion County, and also the building we're going to be building.
Right. Okay, and we have seen an agency growth. Our federal budget went last year from a little over $13 million to close to $23 million this year. So it's close to a $10 million increase. Now, of that, $7 million is for 3 building projects for Head Start. One will be in Radcliffe, one will be in Washington County, and one will be here in Marion County, where they'll be building their classrooms. It'll be classroom space and some office space. So that leaves an ongoing increase with that, taking that $7 million out at one time of about $2.7 million. And 1.4 of that is Head Start, and that is an ongoing increase. So that is money that will still keep coming in. We've also seen a big increase in our employees. About 6 months ago, we had, as an agency across our 8 counties, we had 213 employees, and we're up to 260 now. And 93 of those people work in Marion County, so the biggest chunk of our employees work in Marion County, which is, I know that's, you're all interested in what's here. And then I want to let you know too about some of the, like our community services block grant. There's some things they've got going on right now. We are currently have just helped 281 kids for Christmas this year. That's how many kids that we served out of there. That's for children that are in poverty from 6 months of age up to 13 years of age. If a child has special needs, we can work with them when they're a little bit over that age. We also work in collaboration with the Family Resource Centers to help those kids that are in middle school or high school that need some help. I know Hal mentioned something about the food at the fairgrounds. We average about 280 families that we serve that once a month out to the fairgrounds. And that comes through some help from Feeding America. Now, in addition to that, we also do about 40 to 60 boxes, depending on the need, on what's going on, or the donations that we receive weekly out of our office up here too on Hood Avenue. And those are supported with a lot of donations from Walmart and Kroger, so they help us with that. And I know everybody's heard on the radio about LIHEAP funds and all that. Just to let you know, the agency has written vouchers for our 8 counties that right at $500,000. But $82,480 of that is for Marion County residents, which was helping 581 households. And that price could be, depending on, there's 130% poverty level on that, and the very lowest for a non-subsidized house would be a $98 payment, up to, and that's for an electric for someone in the higher poverty level, with the highest income, and then with the lowest, all the way up to 274 for like a propane user. Those rates are based on, they're distributed out of the state, so it's just based on where you fall in the range of poverty and whatever fuel type that you have. Head Start was something we talked about. We are funded as an agency for 470 slots for Head Start children, and that's 3 to 4 year olds. 124 of those children are served in Marion County out of the 470. We have 24 slots for early Head Start, and that is for a year old up to 3 years old. And 16 of those 24 slots that we're funded for are here in Marion County. So we have a lot going on here. Any questions?
I might add this on the Head Start. I brought a rendition from our architects on the facility here in Marion County. We're going to be bought the intersection there at Corporate Drive and 55. There's that corner lot across from the Sonic Hall there. That's an area we bought a little bit better than 3 acres. So this will give you an idea, and we're getting ready to bid. You can pass that around, Squire. We're looking to get ready to bid that out here within the next few weeks. So our architects are getting close as we put that together. Also, we were able to get the grant funding to do the facility in Springfield, because we lost the St. Catherine's facility there, naturally with the college closing. But both of these are hopefully going to be built together within 2020 is our game plan on that. Pam Smith is our director for Head Start, and Jamie and myself went to the Region 4 office last week and spent a day with some of our specialists there. So we're excited about what Head Start is going to be doing. And again, another program that is really changing lives. We had the Marion County basketball team came out and read to our kids the other day. I mean, they're experiencing some things that are again are life changing.
Is that this building, will the then close the one in Loretta and there used to be one at Bradford Ground, but will they all be in this one location then?
We're not looking at that, but I think that is something that could be discussed on down the road. What this will allow us to do is have enough of a facility now that we can grow from that. Where we are now is going to be a great building, and again, some of that documentation, Judge, we looked before we left, and I think our note on that comes up in 28. We were surprised about that. But I think at the end of the day, it does landlock you where we are there, where Buffalo was up there. But it does give us some opportunities with that piece of land to not only do some things for Head Start, but the amazing thing I've seen about these programs with community action is what's the next program? What's the next program that we're going to have to maybe have some space to be able to maneuver to help the community with? This will allow us to do that. So we'll look at that and look and see what happens in some of the other areas, but we'd love to continue in all the areas that we're doing.
How many, you've got Head Start, you got the one at Loretta, the one at the old Ball Brothers Okay.
There's a couple of
that's,
classrooms down there.
Mhm.
And then there's 3 classrooms in our, yeah, right now the big talk is mostly moving the ones that are in our building out too.
Okay.
That's the initial talk.
Initial thought, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
And a big part of that is with the expansion of the early Head Start,
Mhm.
because those classrooms, they have to be separate classrooms
Right.
from the other
Right.
kids, so.
Yeah, and we've been utilizing space that we've had for Kentucky Works, or even some of our senior coordination programs that are there. If you walk through the back parts of our office,
Yeah.
and you know those, they're all full. There's people on top of people back there right now, especially with the increase that we've had, and a lot of those jobs have been here in Marion County. That's where our office is, our central office. So we're seeing a lot of those jobs here, but, you know, we still cover the entire Lincoln Trail area. But, you know, we have 12 head starts within
Yeah.
6 of the 8 counties. So,
You all own the property there on West Main.
we do own that.
And that just contains Head Start classrooms.
Jamie may comment more, but I mean, I was really surprised to see Head Start seem like there's a move now to, you know, build buildings, our own buildings to that extent, and they've had some funding. We just really were able to fit in there at a perfect time to be able to do this. So, yeah, you know, it'd be great to keep them all open, but if something happens to one and one gets to where you cannot operate out of, this will give us a really nice office here to be under our heads.
It's really helpful too, but we've had especially in Hardin County, we've had some problems keeping space because, you know, we have about 5 or 6 classrooms in the area, and if we can get them all under one roof, it helps with some of your staffing because of, there's a requirement there can never be a child left alone, so you have to have extra staffing. So that helps with that plan too, but, you know, it seems like that we move a lot from year to year, and, you know, it's a lot of wear and tear on your equipment, your staff. Yeah, and it's hard, so, yeah, and it is, and, you know, just the price of rent just keeps going up all the time, that, and then this is, we can go this route, and it's ours.
And right now, we have a facility in Radley, so we've done some stuff for us there, and we've got that facility that's just about under roof. So, you know, we're really pushing to get that complete. And we've seen some, you know, even with the Head Start we talked about, you know, working with the county attorney and the judge on the paperwork that they left with you guys, is basically the funding we're getting from the state. They're wanting to make sure we have within a deed or within what we have as far as the funding there to show the commitment that they've made for that $200-some thousand to go towards the new CAT's office, the blacktopping we did behind. That's what we need to get caught up on that, and then we'll get some wording on that for you again, so appreciate that. But we see our transportation really continuing to grow. I know Judge and I have had a couple meals down Calvary to talk about it, and it's been we always seem like there's something there, you know, that we see that we need to.
I remember one time, there was a threat of not, well, make a payment. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know, people understand it's in the county's name, so, you know, there was fear you all at one time were really struggling to.
2012.
Yeah.
You were really struggling to make it, so.
Now, we're afraid you're gonna call no deal on us. We don't want you to do that. We want to keep it. We want to keep our buildings.
2012 is pretty tough.
We don't want you to take it back now.
And now it's just the other way around, you know,
Well, we had then 2012, 2013, I think it was our 2013 audit that we had a concern because of not having any money. You know, because we had a big loss on transportation. We've turned that around. Things are really good. We ended up this past year, we added almost $56,000 to our unrestricted balance, and it's about $80,000 now.
We're being
Come a long way.
We're being as creative as possible. You've probably seen the Springview Hospital wrap that's out there. I mean, we're trying to get investors in to help us, but again, as you know, when we came back before the end of the fiscal year, the number of rides, the number of meals, I mean, the funding you give us is very much appreciated, and it's put to good use right here in Marion County. So we're still very cautious about where we are, where we're going, and that's why we want to come here with meetings like this. You have our annual report, you see the numbers, they're there in front of you, and glad to answer, again, as Jamie said, any questions whatsoever about what we're doing.
Was that the time frame that they were talking one point about moving to East Town, you know,
Yeah, back in 2000.
somewhere along
Things were
there?
just, well, we didn't even know if we were going to have a business.
Yeah, they were talking about just moving.
we own the building, so.
Yeah. If we didn't pay y'all, play tickets out, but. Start really, they've come a long way. We did a lot of that by paying ourselves when we could, like, and when I say that, I mean, like, instead of outsourcing meals for Head Start, we had our congregate meals programs were actually preparing the food. Our transportation programs were taking them to the sites instead of outsourcing them to the school systems and things like. So those kinds of innovative ideas that we could come up with to help, just to help meet in the middle somewhere. And which, we talk about the federal dollars. A lot of our programs require a match too, which, is the federal government saying that they want the community to buy into what you're doing. So, and so we do that a lot. More often than not, we do it with goods than we do with cash. Usually it's a situation we do, or with volunteers, especially in our Head Start program. Parents volunteer in classrooms, things like that. We would count that as if we would be paying. We would have to pay a person to be there. That extra person to be there. But Head Start parent or so is volunteering. We count those things. So we're just always trying to make sure we capture everything that's out there.
We're working with the vocational school students. You may have heard the Build a Bed program. It all works well for where we're giving the final product, but along with that, we count a lot of that in kind. We appreciate the jailer being here. We have a desk that needs moved, or especially when it comes to congregate meal time, we wouldn't be able to do that with the numbers that we're having if it weren't because we had groups like that. And, Judge, I know sometimes when it was really hot, you would bring a fan out there.
Your heater now.
Yeah, now heater, but it's a great example that this court does show, just being here for a couple of years, just seeing and talking to my counterparts. It's great that we have this type of partnership, and it is appreciated. And that's why we really want to come today and do that and answer any questions you may have.
And now the judge was in on our exit conference for our audit. And
That's
so all
right.
that went well and things are good. So like I said, he's actually there
appreciate
for the
that.
exit conference on that. So
Any questions, anything we can answer? We'd be glad to.
Well, it seems like you're doing a remarkable job.
You're still doing your transit to the airport?
We are, when you talk about other programs that we do, with that, especially during that period of time Jamie's talking about, we picked up that program where the inner city, where we can, take someone to the airport. Without the rail system, there's some that, whether you're poverty or not, trying to get that ride to the airport or to the bus station. So Greyhound had some funding within that. So for $10, we can take you to the airport. We still do that. We've had some folks who've done that this week. We had some Korean students from Lindsey Wilson that came up here. We took them the rest of the way in just this week. So there's that use and that we're able to work with on that is again another program that just adds to help us be able to have other programs that need that extra help.
and that helping within, we require staff. If we go to the airport, you have to use the inner city. If you don't, we'll reimburse you $10 just like we would inner city.
That's right. So it's a reimbursement.
Yeah.
That's
So
how our
it's
programs
like
are kind of different from, because I've managed for 25 years. You look at grant funding that's there, you'll get the grant funding, but ours is the funding's there. So you have to apply for that to get it. So it could be rides, it could be food, it could be the meals, any of that we're talking about. It's not like we get it whenever it's utilized.
You have to provide.
Yeah.
How much notice do you have to give?
On that?
For an
Inner city?
airport?
Oh, you're talking about that? Oh, yeah, inner city, it's,
They prefer like a 72 hours, but it's not, doesn't have to be.
yeah.
They try not to do outside their scope of work, which is like 6 a.m. till about 8
Sure.
p.m. So if you have one of those red eyes, they might,
Yeah.
might not be as happy about those, but if they're following those hours, they're great. But, and I mean, so it's a good $10 down, $10 back, and, airport parking is expensive.
When you come back in, you can catch a flight.
And they'll pick you back up.
They will pick you back. We've had a lot of
Just tell them when you want to be
some of the
picked back up.
manufacturers here in this area, because we do it for all the areas we cover, but here we've seen some of the manufacturers, with someone coming in from Japan and they'll go pick them up, we'll take them right down. For whatever the other extra charge would be, we can take them right to their house.
Pick you up right at the door.
That's
rather
right.
than going all the way through the parking lot.
So anyway, it's there for anyone to use, and we really need the program to be used, because it's one of those programs
It's one of
that
the-
could go away if you don't use it.
It's one of the few that we have that doesn't really have an income stipulation. Most of our firms either have an age, they have an age, because, of course, Head Start has age limits, even like the senior program. different, some are 55, some are 60, but the inner city is one of the ones that doesn't matter. There's no
Yeah.
poverty, no poverty, but anyone can
Yeah.
use it, any age, anyone.
And I think for any, I mean, I had a neighbor of mine that had some Hispanic labor that came in and worked over in Macville, and they met and they took them back to the bus station whenever the season was done. So there's many forms of use for that piece of transportation.
Is that countywide? I mean, you'll pick up anywhere, or does it have to be picked up in the city?
Well, we can go pick it up, it would be an extra charge within that wherever we go, so, you know, like, it would depend on where you are in the county.
If you get
For
somebody to
that.
drop you off at our office, then it's just a $10.
Now, you know, when we do our regular pickup, you know, we still have that same setup that we do for, you know, like our seniors, you know, that we may have someone that would go to the congregate here, the senior citizens. You know, we do that free pickup, you know, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the time that we have now. So we can do that within like a 10-mile radius. So if you fit within that, if not, again, wherever you live, we can tell you what it would cost. For instance, I think there's some guys went to the U of K game this week, and, you know, had us take them up there, and they said, well, if you just pick us up at their house, and instead of the $10 each, it was maybe an additional $8. So we can tell you that and pick you up and go from there.
Yeah, you would know that.
But still on our senior piece, we're still seeing about 85% to 90 medical is really big. What else, anything else?
You're busy.
Thanks, we appreciate that. No, you all are busy too. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Thanks a lot. We appreciate everything you all do for us. And we'll get back with this county attorney. We'll make sure to get back with you all, call her tomorrow, find out what that terminology is. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Yeah.